Greetings, Sun Valley family. Thanks for inviting me into this Life Church Challenge that Pastor Daniels asked us to do. My name's Mike Congrove, and I met several of you when I was out there with my wife not too long ago. I'm the American leader of Empower One. We're a church planting ministry that you guys support. Specifically, you really should have seen this guy. This is William Udar. That is your true missionary. He is in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and he's really doing an amazing job. He is one of our best leaders, period. I just pulled this real quick. It's like, what did he do in 2019? And they started 14 new churches. He trained 106 new leaders. They presented the gospel to 24,000 people. 24,000 people. And 5,165 of those said yes to Jesus. That's just 2019. That is your missionary, and one day I hope you can meet him. I'm certainly going to work on getting a video of him. He's a little bit tougher during this COVID time, but we are working on that. And huge thank you to all of you for your support. It means a ton to us. It means a ton to him. You guys did a special gift at the end of the year, and we were able to present him with a really great study Bible in French, which is, their main trade language there. And he was just completely overjoyed. I lament that I didn't get a photo for you, but I was there, and it was awesome. And huge thank you. So life verse. I thought I would just tell you a story. When I first went to South Sudan, I was wrestling. With, was I there kind of for the adventure, or was God really calling me to work in this place with these people? And we were in a town called Rumbek, and it's kind of in the middle, a little bit west of South Sudan, and it was kind of like the Wild West. Now, it's not like this now, but this was in 2006. I'm not exaggerating. Every male over the age of, let's say, 16 just was openly walking around with a rifle. And so that is the situation that we were in. And we were staying in this little tented camp that a guy from Kenya had built, and it was just a wild adventure. I was in my tent in that camp. And one morning I woke up to just read my Bible. And I'd been asking the Lord, hey, is this it? Is this my calling? And I was just reading my normal Bible study, and I was reading the book of Romans. And in chapter 15, verses 20 and 21, Paul writes this. He says, and thus I aspire to preach the gospel, not where Christ was already named, so that I would not build on another man's foundation. But as it is written, they who had no news of him shall see, and they who have not heard shall understand. At the time, there was no South Sudan. It was just one country. It was Sudan. And it was the third least reached country in the world. So only India and China were ahead of it at that time, in terms of tribes who had never heard Jesus' name. And when I read that verse, I knew that was exactly what I was supposed to be doing. That confirmed my calling. And that has been kind of a North Star verse for me ever since then. Not to build another man's foundation, but go where they've never seen it, never heard. And I got to film this in my living room area here, and I thought, man, let me put these girls over my shoulder. This is a tribe called the Toposa. They're in the southeast corner of South Sudan. I'm not a great photographer by any means. I did take the photo, and then there was a really neat young lady who came, and she did this painting. This is sort of her style, and I asked her to do this for me, and she was really sweet and great about it. But I keep it here as this reminder of these people who've never heard. This tribe, when we first met them, had one mature believer. One. They were probably number around 500,000. And so that verse, as you can see, has been critical to me in my calling. Thank you, Sun Valley family, for supporting us. Thank you for praying for us. I love your pastor, Daniel. I've known him for 20 plus years, one of my favorite people. And just he always refreshes me. I pray he gets refreshed. I pray you get refreshed. And I pray God keeps you guys safe and healthy and blesses the Sun Valley family.
Hi, we're Greg and Clarissa Rhodes, and we are missionaries serving in Asia, currently in Thailand. And we have been missionaries sent out by you, the church at Sun Valley, for the past 6 years. You guys have supported us, and we're very grateful for that.
And I wanted to share, I was telling Greg, I'm not sure if it's my whole life verse, but it's certainly a season of life verse for me has been Psalm 16:5. The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. For me, that's been important for me just to remember that when I choose the Lord and choose the things of Him and His ways, He's always been enough for me and for our family, and He's always filled us up and provided all that we need. And so it's a joy to keep choosing Him day by day.
All right, my turn. Mine is Isaiah 55, and I like the whole chapter, but I'll just read a portion of it. It says, "Come, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters. He who has no money, come, buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend money for what is not bread, and your labor for what does not satisfy? Listen diligently to me, and eat what is good, and delight yourselves in rich food. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear that your soul may live." Especially that last section. Listen diligently to me and eat what is good, and delight yourself in rich food. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear that your soul may live. These verses really speak to me. I think I'm trying to remember when the Lord kind of touched my heart with this. I think it was sometime in college. But there's a sense that I just have always struggled with contentment, in a sense of seeking something that was out there, and the Lord really used these verses to draw me to Himself and say that the desire for more isn't bad, but the desire should be fully met in Him, and that He's setting a grand table before us to partake. And then I love that last section where it talks about the power and all the riches that He provides us is given to us through listening to Him. And I just want to have a heart and a life that's just inclined to hear Him. And then that last part says, "Incline your ear and come to me, hear that your soul may live." I love that idea of through that listening is where we come alive, where our souls come alive. Yeah, and so those are our life verses, and we're very grateful for you guys. We do ask that you would lift us up in prayers as everyone, we're cooped up in our house, and the kids are doing pretty good, we're doing pretty good, but it's getting old. But also be praying. A lot of the people here live paycheck to paycheck, and a lot of them live day to day. So, and the economy is based on tourism, and there's no tourists right now. So there's a lot of people who are hurting around us. Just pray that we would know how to engage our community well. We are blown away with how people have been helping one another, and food distribution things that are going on that are just really exciting. Just pray with us about how we should engage our broader community during this hard time for them all. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, the church at Sun Valley. I'm Peter Barnhart. Some of you may know who I am. I'm Greg and Diane Barnhart's son, their only son. Me and my wife, Angela, who will be talking here in a minute, are heading off to Africa with our kids this summer. And Pastor Daniel reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you mind you guys sharing a life verse with us?" And so I would love to share this verse with you. It's not my life verse, but it's a verse that I've just come to really love recently, just with everything going on and the uncertainties of this world and our future. It's just been a good reminder to me of where I need to put my trust in. So the verse is from Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6, and it says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." This verse is just a verse that I've loved for many years. It's a verse that pertains to our journey. It's a verse that pertains now to many of your guys' journey and where you're at in your life right now. And it's just something I want to share with you and some thoughts that I have on it. The first part is trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. How often, church, do we do that? How often do we just not lean on our own understanding and do things on our own? I know me personally, especially during this time with the uncertainties of leaving, when we're leaving, with this COVID-19, how we're going to get our visas, that I start to worry. I start to put things in my own perspective. I try to do it on my own. I don't get on my knees and trust in the Lord. I don't seek him with my whole heart. And it is then that I realize that this verse really is stand out, and there's a reason God has put this into my heart right now, that I need to trust in him. I need to trust in him that he has a plan for me now. He had a plan for this COVID-19. He has a plan for today, tomorrow, and the next day. And when we acknowledge him in that, he will make our path straight. We will be lined up with him and not ourselves. So often I know personally, like I just said, is I do it on my own. I don't trust him. I don't come to him. And that's when we start to get anxious. We do things that aren't right. We start to judge, and we don't acknowledge what he has in our life. So I just came to you today to try to share that with you, that we need to acknowledge him. He knows our plans. He knows our plans now and in the future, and we could trust in him. We could trust in him with everything we do, and not just our own understanding, but give it to him, church. Lay it at his feet. He will guide you. Now Angela will share her verse, and I just thank you guys, and I pray that this has been encouraging to you too.